Every Thursday, Keefe, we like to put something on the clock. We'll give you a 60-second, take, plan, what have you, for what's going on each and every week. Today, we're going to focus on Patriots free agency. Yahoo dubbed the Patriots the most interesting team in free agency, so we figured it's a good day, too, with the legal tampering beginning on Monday, free agency officially starting on Wednesday. We figured it's a good time to get in our final plans, our final submissions for the Patriots in 60 seconds.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Basically proving that we can solve the Patriots' issues in just a minute's time. All you need is lend us your ear for 60 seconds, and we can fill out the Patriots ready to go. Vrabel wanted them to be able to play a game before the draft. After this plan, I think we're going to be good to go.
Oh, I mean, after this plan, you might be in the Super Bowl based on my plan. So you can follow along. You can, let us know who you think has the better plan. You can also weigh in with your own plans. We're not giving you 60 seconds, okay? I mean, please.
Well, let's not get crazy.
I get 60. Keefe gets 60. We'll give you guys 30 seconds on the clock if you want to at 617-779-7937. Keefe, I believe you went first last time.
That's true.
It's kind of a home-away thing. You kind of want last ups in this one.
That's true.
As we've come to find out. So I think I'm first. Batter up here. If you want to put me on the clock for 60 seconds, Nick, I'll give you my plan. Okay, I'll start with the wide receivers. I am trading a second-rounder, number 38 overall to Seattle for DK Metcalf. I'm giving him the extension he wants. He wants $30 million a year. Good, you can have it in the final year of your rookie extension. I'm also signing Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp. When he's released, your wide receiver room now fixed. On the O-line, I'm signing Ravens left tackle Ronnie Stanley. Reese says 4 years, $100 million, 65 guaranteed. Give it to him. I'm signing Jaguars guard Brandon Scherf, former top 5 pick, along with Andrews and Mike Onwenu, maybe a rookie right tackle. Your O-line now fixed. Running back, I want them to draft one, but either way, the room needs help. I'm signing Cowboys running back Rico Dowdle. He's 27, 1,000 yards last year and 39 catches. For defense, I like the D-line, but the back seven needs help. I'm signing Jets corner DJ Reed, shutdown pair with Christian Gonzalez. I'm also signing Chiefs linebacker Nick Bolton or Jets linebacker Jamian Sherwood, who Vrabel likes. I'm signing Niners safety Talanoa Hufanga, so grab him too. Vrabel now has key personnel on defense. The defense is fixed. It's a Super Bowl team. That's a Super Bowl team is what that is.
Wow, Jones. Pretty good. We got some overlap, but I'm not going to tell you everything. But
maybe a little strong on Super Bowl, but, playoff team.
Why not?
9 wins.
Sky's the limit.
I've gone from Super Bowl to playoff team to 9 wins is what I would amend that to. It got away from me. You want to put Keefe on the clock? He's got 60 seconds here in the Dragon's Lair.
All right, here we go. First of all, Robert Kraft, you're not going to love this, but here's the plan. I'm going to give all the money in the world to Ronnie Stanley. You got to convince him to leave Baltimore, anchor your offensive line for the next few years. There's your left tackle. He's going to be your Haas of the week every single week during the football season. I'm also, new plan today, I'm going to sign Joey Bosa. I'm going to get aggressive. He's just got released by the Chargers. I'm going after Joey Bosa. Mike Vrabel was in Ohio State when Joey Bosa was there. Some little connection as well. Like Jones, I'm going to wait for Cooper Kupp to get released. Then I'm going to pounce on Cooper Kupp. I'm also going to sign Devontae Adams. So I have Adams and Kupp as my wide receivers right now. Do they need a running back? Yeah, they do. Najee Harris, 4 straight 1,000-yard years, is available out of Pittsburgh. I'm going to sign Najee Harris as well. And I'm just spending money left and right. The last guy I'm going to get, Asante Samuel Jr. His dad might be the only guy who hates Bill Belichick more than Robert Kraft, so I'm bringing in Asante Samuel Jr. to play in my secondary as well. Super Bowl, back on.
Okay, I like it. We both got him in the Super Bowl. Just listen to us. You're back in the Super Bowl. Easy.
All you got to do is sign those guys. It's just money. It's just money. You have it. Yeah. I got some older dudes in there, but that's okay.
Okay, well, already, the text line, Jones, you just spent $250 million. Yeah, well, yeah, they did that in 2021. They've done it before. They have the money. So, what are you talking about? Of course I spent – thank you. Of course I spent $250 million. So, I have DK and Cooper Kupp in the receiver room. Keefe, you have Devontae and Cooper Kupp in the receiver room. We both have Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. I also signed Brandon Scherf, who's –
that's good.
He's a veteran. I don't think he's going to be super expensive. I'd take the flyer there. When it comes to running back, you went Najee Harris. I went Rico Dowdle. Najee's going to be a little more expensive, but again, they have tons of money. Running backs aren't all that pricey. I went more back seven. You went on the D-line. Joey Bosa, I'm happy you brought that name up.
Yeah.
Florio wrote today, because I kind of assumed last night, based on some of the reporting, he's like a done deal going to the Niners to play with his brother. That was kind of the initial reporting. Florio thinks he's going to have a real strong market. He called it a quote-unquote free agency frenzy for Joey Bosa. It's a frenzy
He's coming off a down year, but I still feel like
Okay.
he could be a wrecker.
So he was a Pro Bowler last year, but I agree. Down year, it makes sense you want him, Keefe. His last good year was 2021.
I'm trying to get the 2021 All-Pro team if I could.
So he's played 28 combined games the last 3 years, but 14 of them, half, were last year. So he played 14 games a year ago. He made the Pro Bowl. Here are how many sacks he's had. 2022, the last 3 years, 2.5 in 2022, only 5 games. 6.5 in 2023, 9 games, and then 5 last year in 14 games. He is how old? He is he'll be 30,
29.
30 in July.
All right, happy early birthday to Joey Bosa. So it might not be looking at my list. Ronnie Stanley's the one guy that would be a ton of money.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if Bosa's
maybe
a
Adams,
ton.
Maybe Adams,
Harris
maybe
is
Bosa.
a running back. Yeah, Devontae Adams would be a lot of money, but it would also be for 2 years. It wouldn't be much longer than that. Cooper Kupp would be shorter money.
Mm-hmm.
It's short money and it's a big boost, but I don't think you're going to have to go really long term with these guys. Like your plan has DK Metcalf, which would be one of those like big long-term contracts. My guys are more kind of like shock the system right now for 2-year deals.
No. That's and look, I think either way, I'd feel much better about the roster if they did either of those plans. Which plan did you prefer? You can vote 617-779-7937. That's your phone number and your text line.
So 2 questions.
You also can have a 30-second plan. We'll put you on the clock. Same phone number, and you can weigh in with your own insight for the Patriots plan. All you out there listening. What were your 2 questions?
So my 2 questions you can also answer. If you have a 30-second plan, great. If you don't, you could say, do you like Jones's plan better than my plan? Or follow-up, do they sign any of those guys?
Well, that's a great question.
Could they go 0 for that list? I feel like there's also a chance of
that. I do think, though, Keefe, I don't think they're signing Asante Samuel. I love that one. But I don't think they're signing him. Ready? Who do you think is the most likely out of our 2 lists, the most likely name they sign?
Good question.
I think
Ronnie Stanley?
That's what I think. It's the one we both had. I think Ronnie Stanley, and he's going to cost the most, at least, barring an extension for DK Metcalf. He's going to cost you the most. I think that's the most likely one they – out of all the names we just mentioned, that's the most likely one they get, I think.
It probably is. It doesn't mean it's likely. It just means it's the most likely, and it's for 2 reasons. One, it's such a glaring need – and he's also the clear-cut guy at that spot. We can all argue over receivers, you, me, people calling in. We can argue over which receiver you want and to prioritize even some of the defensive linemen or secondary guys or running backs. There's like an actual debate with all those positions. We haven't heard, and I haven't heard, a single, Ronnie Stanley's good, but so-and-so, get that guy. It's like, no. If you can get Ronnie Stanley, you pay more for him. So, yeah, that would be the guy that they should be the most aggressive after. TBD on that.
And it sounds more likely that he's going to get to market. I said this before. If he gets out of Baltimore, I think he's going to be a Patriot. I know people are saying the Chiefs have started maneuvering. I think this was Giardi the other day. The Chiefs have started maneuvering to get Ronnie Stanley. He's their plan A. It's part of why they moved Joe Thuney. I think if he makes it to market, he's going to be a Patriot. That would be my prediction there. Speaking of Thuney, real quick, you see Burt Breer said this last night. The Patriots did call about Joe Thuney, but they thought it was too high of an asking price. Now, I don't know if that's his contract. I don't know if that's for the 4th-round pick that the Bears gave up, maybe the combination. I'm not surprised they called. I'm disappointed that they would call and feel like that's too much of an – you have all the cap space in the world, so who cares about the contract? And a fourth-round pick is nothing.
But depending on what they do in the rest of free agency, I would be mad if 2 of their highest-paid players were guards once again. And if Onwenu's a guard and you bring in Thuney, who I don't want playing tackle, I'd be like, there's better money spent elsewhere.
It's a good point. Where should they spend their money? At tackle or guard? That's a fair point.
Tackle, wide out, pass rush.
Right. Like Thuney's a good player, and I want good players, and I want them to spend, but I want them to spend at key spots. Fair.
That's why, it's interesting where he went. The Bears and Ben Johnson trying to beef up his offensive line. Because one of the reasons why the Lions had so much success was their offensive line was incredible. But we also saw as the playoffs played out last year, like Thuney is a great, great guard, but you kind of need to leave him at a guard.
Okay, a couple of things. Feedback here. 617-779-7937. Keefe, Najee Harris sucks is what that says with like a lot of U's.
Man, I didn't take that into account.
I would have done that if I were you. I like Najee Harris.
Najee Harris sucks. Dang.
I like him. And I think the Patriots are going to be in the running back market, whether it's the draft or free agency. They're going to be in the running back market. I happen to like Rico Dowdle. I think he's a little more versatile.
He's solid.
I think he's a little more versatile than Harris, but Harris might be a better fit if you're going to pair him with Stevenson.
Do you know here's a trivia question for you. How many catches did Najee Harris have as a rookie?
Well, okay, so again, let me get in the mind of Keefe. So what year was that, 2020?
2021. 2021. It's a great year. Cooper Kupp was setting records. I love 2021
somehow
players.
Stuck in 2021 with every player
It was a
we
good
talk
year.
about.
COVID was over.
Okay,
there was no more COVID.
How many catches? How many catches did Najee Harris have in 2021? 60.
Yeah. 74.
Okay, that's good. What do you have last year? Just out of curiosity.
36.
Okay, so that's actually then never mind. I said more versatile in terms of Rico Dowdle. They basically had the same amount of catches, 39 to 36 last year.
I just think again,
they took him off the field because Jalen Warren.
Yeah, Jalen Warren's usually their pass catching guy. Yeah.
So, but he can do it, unless you trade Ramondre Stevenson, which I know Curran is advocated for. You and I are like, I don't know, like if you're not getting much for him, I would just keep him. But I think Stevenson and Harris would be a pretty good combo. I'd be good with that.
Also, people saying I don't see the difference between Najee and Ramondre. The idea would be you have two of them. The idea would be you have you have more than one. But yeah. I thought in my mind anyway, there's more overlap, but maybe Najee Harris is a little more versatile than I gave him credit for.
Thank you.
Also, I like this plan, 617-779-7937. I like both of your plans and free agency, or for free agency, rather. You fixed a lot of weak points. Well, thank you.
Thank you. If
those plans come to fruition, I would drop down in the draft and go get Tyler Warren. Ooh, that I like a lot.
You like Tyler Warren.
The idea of dropping down in the draft, I'm also a fan of, and this is what Vrabel said. Sign guys in free agency, let the draft come to you. What were you going to say there, Keith?
I was going to say how consistent Najee Harris has been.
Yep.
He's like Chris Davis. Remember Chris Davis who hit 247 for 3 straight years?
Yeah. So
he's played in 17 games every year, all 4 years.
Yep.
He had 1,200 yards rushing his rookie year. Then he was 1,034, 1,035, 1,043.
Wow.
The last 3 years have been separated by less than 10 yards total.
So pencil that in.
He's going to run for 1,000 yards.
1,030 something is what he's going to run for.
Pretty much.
So you can jump in with all your plans. 617-779-7937. The Patriots, as Keith has been saying, is they're the Dos Equis guy of free agency. Yahoo dubbed the Patriots the most interesting team in free agency. The Patriots lead the NFL in 2 categories: most cap space and most roster holes to fill. New England probably needs to sign multiple receivers and multiple offensive linemen. Good thing we have our plans where we did both of those things.
Our plans were great. Now, go ahead. Keep going.
And then they have the cap space to do it. New England has the ability to sign anyone it wants. I agree with all those things. The needs, the demand, the money. I don't know that I fully trust they're going to do it, but if they follow our lead, Keith, they're going to be a better team.
All right, so we both agree that out of all the guys we named, Ronnie Stanley, even though not a guarantee, is the most likely on the list. Mm-hmm. Flip the question, which guy between the 2 plans is the most like pie in the sky unlikely?
Probably Metcalf, and I've been beating the drum for Metcalf for a while, but just based on the Herald and Phil Perry, some of their combine buzz, they don't seem to view Metcalf as a system fit. Which means McDaniels doesn't like him, which is another reason why I don't want McDaniels here. If you can't figure out how to work with DK Metcalf, that's kind of a you problem. But I would say he's probably the least likely. What would you say?
I think Metcalf is probably a good one. Maybe Joey Bosa if he prices himself out. I kind of like that idea, but maybe they go somewhere else.
Okay, well, let's go to the phones. We got 30-second plans for our listeners out there. Keith and I both gave you 60-second free agency plans. You can jump in at 617-779-7937 with your own 30-second plan for the Patriots and free agency. We'll put you on the clock. Chuck in New Hampshire, you're up. 30 seconds.
All right, to appease Jones first, we're going to hire Nitro as the new strength and conditioning coach. We're going to have 311 do the anthem opening day. Now, we trade a second pick for DK Metcalf. We get Milton Williams to shore up the front on the defensive line, have a game record there. Ronnie Stanley, if you can't get him, go to the draft for tackle. Get Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bolton, get linebackers, DJ Reed, Javon Holland. Now you have playmakers at every side, every level on the defense, and you have a tackle, hopefully.
Excellent plan. Hot start. Good finish.
That's how you make a plan right there, Chuck in New Hampshire. Now I'll recognize Chuck in New Hampshire on the text line. I now know that's Chuck in New Hampshire texting.
311 doing the anthem. Oh, yeah. Jones was sold.
Oh, my gosh.
Didn't he just say another thing?
And Nitro?
Nitro in the strength guy?
What a plan.
Get Gerard Mayo's brother out of there, bring in all the old gladiators.
Who's arguing with that?
I don't think anybody.
What a plan.
Strongest team in the league.
He mentioned DK Metcalf for pick 38. The odds are out on Metcalf for where he's going to play next year, not even with a trade. So Seattle return is in the mix, Keefe. There are co-favorites to where DK Metcalf will be playing next year, according to this is DraftKings. Chargers and Seahawks are co-favorites at plus 300.
Not Raiders. I'm surprised Raiders.
Not Raiders. You know who's next?
Pats?
Pats. At plus 350.
So this is tough about these things because sometimes these are really right. These like future team odds. I remember famously kind of keeping track of like the Kawhi Leonard one.
Yep.
And like 2 days before he went to Toronto, it like shot to the top of the list. So like they did hear something, but like the early ones sometimes
just matching a need to a name.
They're matching need and also like cap space and sort of like the Patriots are going to be. I feel like the Pats are probably going to be top 5 on most of these guys.
They were lower on Devontae Adams. They're right. Another way to say this: if he changes teams, it's the Chargers at plus 300 and the Pats at plus 350. Like they're right. They're right there neck and neck. They are ahead of the Texans plus 550, the Raiders plus 700, and the Steelers and Broncos both at 12-1.
Because I saw like a couple running backs, they had the same odds. My guy Najee Harris, also Aaron Jones, who I would be happy with too, but he might cost a little bit more. But the Pats were like 4th for both of those guys, which is, I think, a lot to do with how much money they have.
Interesting. So those are the odds on Metcalf. Your girl, Diana Rossini, said they want a 1 and a 3. My girl, Josina Anderson, said teams are already offering third-round picks for DK Metcalf. So split the difference. I'd say a second-rounder sounds about right. Patriots have 38. I would make the move. More 30-second plans here. We'll put you on the clock. Dial us up, 617-779-7937. What do you want the Patriots to do in free agency? Let's put Chris in Texas on the clock. 30 seconds, Chris. Let's go.
All right, so Ronnie Stanley, Monday morning, will be a Patriot. Chris Godwin already knows the Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels offense, signing him. Milton Williams on the defensive line. Charvarius Ward's at the opposite of Gonzo, big time, and that allows the Patriots in the draft to focus on running back, tight end, and edge, the 3 strongest positions in the draft.
How about that? With room to spare.
Nice, tidy 30-second plan. Now, he did tick through, if I'm not mistaken, the 4 names the Herald highlighted, and whatever. I'm not saying he took them or anything, but just that coincides with the Herald saying Ronnie Stanley, Milton Williams, Charvarius Ward, and Godwin. Those were the 4 that the Herald had. So interesting. We've now had both callers mention Milton Williams. I'm not as gung-ho about that one, Keefe. But, when we were going through the exercise yesterday, the Dan Graziano exercise or whatever it was, where all the various beat writers submitted their contracts, that was one that Reese thought they'd be in on. They didn't win the bid, but that was one Reese thought they'd be in on, Milton Williams.
Our guy from WIP yesterday loved him and thought he'd be a great fit.
He did.
He did love him a lot. I still wonder if there's a trade for Jeffrey Simmons, if that's still a possibility. It's funny.
Don't you kind of think – I know you had them signing Bosa, but don't you kind of think their D-line is fine right now? Now, maybe Vrabel doesn't. Vrabel might trade Godchow. Curran mentioned Barmore's name, which to me sounds ominous. Who knows with Keon White how safe that guy is with some of the things he's said over the last couple of years, but – I don't hate the talent on the D-line. I don't feel like they need a bunch of signings on the D-line sitting here right now.
No, it's very strange, though, because I feel like the names on paper didn't exactly lead to the performance on the field.
Well, that's fair.
Like, they got run on all the time. They didn't have a consistent pass rush. But then, like, individually, I'm with you. I'm like, White, Barmore, Godchow, like, those are good players. But then it's like, I don't know. It didn't seem to work. So if anybody's going to have a good say, it would be Vrabel and the new D coordinator, Terrell Williams, who's a D-line expert. So if you see those guys getting out of town, I would think his fingerprints would be on that too.